Ben.
So, Ashe, Aburo boy, Boshishe, Iyalode, Egbefunmi, Aloris, Owl, Iyanifa, Iliad Digbe, Iliadu, Egbe, of course, Egbe Sumomi, Egbe Ola, Egbe Amileke, Egbe Enrique. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce Iyalode Egbefunmi. Egbefunmi, oh yeah, Yemi. I'm trying to say it too fast.
Ben.
Eku Oshe Ogun Ochosi Iyalode.
Ashe. Ashe. Aboro Boshishe Baba. Everyone. Ile. Should I go through the proper greeting?
It's up to you. You don't have to.
Yeah.
It's lengthy.
Absolutely. Aboro Boshishe. Oloye. Aloris. Ojubona. Iyanifas, Owls, Ile, and Iadudu Temple. So today's discussion is going to be Oturupon Sa. Oturupon Sa. And I'm going to read that verse. If everyone can repeat after me, please.
Ifani.
Ifani. The palm frowns point straight from heaven.
The palm fronds
pointed straight from heaven.
Straight from heaven.
Ori tree is full and busy.
Ori tree is full and busy.
A dubious person cannot live long on earth.
A dubious person cannot live long on earth.
Ifa's message for Molumo.
Ifa's message for Molumo.
The child of Asawo.
The child of Asawo.
Who people declared that will never succeed in life.
That will never succeed in life.
He was advised to offer Ebo.
He was advised to offer Ebo.
And he complied. It is time for me to succeed in life.
It is time for me to succeed in life.
If the cotton wool germinates,
in
the farm, it will succeed.
In the farm, it will succeed.
It is time for me to succeed in life.
It
is time for me to succeed in life.
If the sun rises from Iwanran,
if the sun rises from Iwanran,
the East will celebrate its success.
The East
will celebrate its success.
Ifa, it is time for me to succeed in life.
Ifa, it is time for me to succeed in life.
No tribulation will stop its sin from blooming.
No
tribulation will stop its sin from blooming.
Ifa, it is time for me to succeed in life.
Ifa, it is time for me to succeed in life.
Ashe. So here, Ifa speaks that this Ile will continue to move forward. So the seeds have been planted and we will continue to grow. Ashe. Egbe support. So the palm frowns point straight from heaven. The ori tree is full and busy. It says a dubious person cannot live long on earth. What is a dubious person? Anyone? What's a dubious person?
Someone who's grimy and not truthful.
Ooh, grimy. Benny. That's a good description. Anybody else? What's another good description of a dubious person?
Two-faced?
Say that again.
Two-faced?
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna add my own in. Shady.
Grimy, shady, and two-faced.
Shady Grady. Shady. So it says that a dubious person cannot live long on earth, bringing to the attention character, behavior. So um, Egbe puts a strong, connotation on our character and, our behavior. So being dubious, that means, if it says cannot live long on earth, that's not good
At all.
at all. So Egbe supports longevity of life.
Benny. Especially with the palm fronds. I can see that.
Benny.
Ah. So it could be talking about Egbe Orun.
Ashe. Mm-hmm.
Right? Alana with one's destiny.
Ashe.
But dun, 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 that dubious person, right? So they can be like not trustworthy,
Yeah. Questionable.
right? Not self-assured, any of those kind of like things.
Mm-hmm.
So Ashe, so Molumo, Agvolumo, I think is it's a let me see, because I'm
Molumo.
It's Agbalumo. It's actually kind of like two words.
Agbalumo.
Uh-huh.
You said Agbalumo?
Yeah, Agbalumo
Ben.
is an African star apple. So Mo is I, can be I or me in an instance. Molumo, Agba,
Agbalumo.
maybe I'm stretching. I don't remember. But nonetheless, right? And nonetheless, right, it's a clear indication too, because people declare that they will never succeed again in life.
Which is an untrue statement.
Then with Ebo or with the sacrifice, that changes things.
Ben.
So whether it's gossip or contention or curse or hex or whatever it is, right? With the right heavenly support from Egbe room, the proper alignment with, because the Ori is full and busy, like the life of the person, not necessarily just the tree, but that gives us an example, right? Because of the birds and different things of the tree, how it moves in the wind, it provides shade, it has these various functions.
Ashe.
But a dubious person will even deny those things, right? So, a dubious person may deny that the tree gives shade. The tree automatically is going to give shade.
Bene.
So,
Mm-hmm.
good verse.
So people declared that we will never succeed. Ifa says that the seeds have been planted and we will continue to grow. So we will continue to move forward. He was advised to offer Ebo and he complied. Offering Ebo for success. We have to follow the advisements in order for the outcome to be successful. He complied and offered the Ebo.
This verse is fire.
It is.
The trees and the cotton don't grow together.
The who?
The trees and the cotton, they grow in two different places.
Ben.
So it's
Ben.
almost like they can't grow in the same place.
Ben.
So, I was talking about this the other day with somebody else that was, non-related, but I guess it's related. But the cotton has to grow, and it has to have enough sunlight. It has to be watered, right? And it can almost kind of like spring up overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's
And
it's
proper
about
soil.
right, and it's
Good
about the
soil.
form, right,
Ben.
right. So even if we looking for some type of success or support in the first group, right? Like it's already assured the palm fronds, right? It's by design. And even the Ori or the Ori tree is busy. The dubious person, one who will even deny these truths.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This was Ifa's message to Malumo, the child of Asawo, when people declared that he would never succeed again in life. So you got one Egbe over here that's, it can even be, Egbe and Mary without without proper training, right? Doing things even in an unaware way to cause challenges to someone else. It can be very well intentional, but can be unintentional as well. We need to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people just play their part. The dubious person cannot live long on earth. It's not for you to worry about. Either they're going to change or they're going to change their ways. Whichever one, there's going to be a change because it will not last long.
And
it is time for me to succeed. So again, right? Ifa is giving us a timing. At the time when this Odu Ifa is cast, it says that it is time for me to succeed in life.
oh shit.
How old are you when you received this verse? What path was you on, or are you on? What mixture of things, what alchemy of life do you have in order to receive this Odu Ifa? It's timing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't grow cotton all year. You can only grow at a certain time of the year. It's the season for it. Success. Very good, Odu Ifa. These things grow in groups. The trees grow in groups, and the cotton grows in groups. It's not beneficial to have one cotton grow by itself. So again, right, location, right? The things are unstoppable, even like the sun rising from the east. Oh, what? Yeah, the east is gonna be praising the success because it's gonna see these changes. It's gonna experience these changes. The Irumale support. Again, the Isan fruit, Egbe again. So
Man. So the verse reiterates, it recites it over and over and over. And, we may face challenges. We will. We'll face those challenges. But, in the midst of those challenges, and heeding the advisements and making the EBO, Egbe supports us successfully. Egbe supports us with success. Egbe supports us with elevation. Egbe supports us with spouses and
Ashe.
companions, how, companions meaning our spouses and companions and our relationships with people.
Your friend group.
Hmm?
Your friend group.
Friend group, Ben.
Your
Friend
friend
group.
group.
Friend group.
Friend group, work group, book club,
Yes. Work,
car club, Iyalode, Egbe, various ways I say. Neighborhood.
Yes. Yes. Long life, wealth, all right. So with
Again,
Egbe's,
right? The grouping of the blessings is a telltale.
yeah. Repeat that, Mom.
The grouping of the blessings.
I should.
Like you were just naming them off.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bobo.
that's
Bobo.
Egbe as well. Yeah.
Bobo. Yeah.
Bobo. A lot of them, all of them. Everybody say all
Everything.
of them. Everything.
Everything.
Good old Dewey Five. Just as sure as the sun rises in the east.
I should.
It will celebrate success, this elevation, this change, new cycle, right? The day is a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cycle of success. Mm-hmm. No tribulation will stop the Essene fruit from blooming.
I should.
Anybody got any questions for Iyalode? What do the palm fronds mean? Destiny?
Palm fronds. They're sacred leaves from the palm tree.
The
Yeah.
holy palm tree that sprouts 16 palm fronds.
I should.
The Ori tree is full and busy.
And
Questions?
great
Yeah.
verse.
Huh?
I said it's a great verse.
Benny. Ifa Tucson got her hand up.
If a two cents.
Gaboru aboyabo shishe yanifa.
Abuato, Asoivo, yeah.
So I wanted to know, number one, do we all have this verse? Because I could not find it. And where is it located if we have it?
Yeah, that was Oturupon Sa is the third verse.
In the
It's in the
yearly?
Ben. It's the third
In the
verse.
yearly.
Yes.
From
Benny.
December.
And
Benny.
it speaks in regards to Ekbe support. Yep. It's that third verse.
It's that third verse in the yearly. Okay.
Mhm.
No,
Ashe.
it's not a
I
yearly.
didn't look in the
It's
yearly.
not it's
It's
not
not
the
a yearly.
yearly
It was in the Etah Dogoon from December.
from December, Ben.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
This Ide will continue to move forward. The seeds have been planted and will continue to grow. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Thank you.
Anybody else? Ashe. Thank you, Iyalode. Is there anything else you want to
No, not at this time.
add? Great verse.
Thank you.
It's, it opened up a
And a
few
good
things for
lesson.
me. Benny. It opened up a few things for me.
Did it?
Huh?
You said did it? I said did it?
Yes, just kind of like so Benny. So
Mm-hmm.
we can always look for we always look for support. Right?
Yes.
And people. But sometimes we can look for the support in the wrong place.
Yes.
So what's one of the first places that we look for support that we be turned around? Or that we told, oh no, that's not gonna work. Yeah, Ayo.
A lot of times, the first place we look for support is our family and our friends.
Benny.
And they be quick to be like, oh, I don't know, you shouldn't do that.
Benny. So this is the thing, like the Odu Ifa is speaking about Ifa in the first line in the reference, right? And what one's Odu Ifa is to, even though we can all have the same Odu Ifa, right? But we at different points in the Odu. So when this Odu was revealed, some of us could have been experiencing it before, right? We could be experiencing it now, or we could be going into it into the future. So the palm trees, the palm fronds, right? That's Ifa, right? The 16 palm fronds, the holy palm tree with 16 palm fronds. It's talking about Okwe. So the destiny, right, that's from heaven, they pointed towards heaven. Even the palm tree is giving reverence and respect to destiny. The Ori tree and it being busy, one's destiny, right? The one spinal cord and the brain and how that could be, how the Oris are connected through nerves and different things like that, how these centers are together and how it moves us about on our path. The dubious person, right? Somebody is doubtful. These people are, whether they honest and they doubtful, or they dishonest, or they lack integrity, right? This word is used to describe these things that's not necessarily direct, but indirect ways that can affect our destiny. Where it come from? It comes from sometimes the people that's closest to us. If we think about it, right, any Ifa reading that we've ever had, and the person that was doing crap to us was somebody that we knew. It's not the people that you don't know, right? Especially in this verse, it's not the people that you don't know that do it to you. It's the people that you do know. It even tells us that it's Egbe, so we can be with the wrong Egbe. So we can look at it and be like, man, I'm with the wrong Egbe. They told me no. They giving me the blues about what I want to do, and they just not in alignment with it. Blah 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 blah. But we look at it, that rejection as a negative. When had they allowed us to proceed down that course and path, right, that we could be misguided or delayed. They said, Bobby, oh, you always see everything in the higher light. How else is there to see it? And that's the point. So sometimes it's right. These are the ones that teach us the lessons first. They're the ones that teach you how to wipe your butt, how to sit up, how to put your clothes on, where to sleep at, and to do all these things. But they also, like when we've learned those things, right, they're there to teach us other lessons too. We have to follow the example of our parents, and we have to start our own family. And we continue the cycle of life. But with this verse, it shows that they carried the relationship in a particular way for too long. And it's the ones that caused them challenges, the ones that was close to them. It's the ones that was speaking that was doubtful about Molumo's destiny. So isn't it natural, right, for them to be doubtful about something that they don't know? So if you remember when we was going through the verse, I said, hey, it can be done both ways. It can be done unintentionally and intentionally. I made it clear to make the distinction at that time, right, because of this very point. That's those things that can affect us from being with the wrong Egbe are actually done in our favor, even though it may be hurtful. It's because, damn, we told you that it was time to change the relationship. You can't do what your parents do if you still work running behind your siblings, right? Because that's not where your attention needs to be. Or you running behind cousins or family members or whatever, right? There has to be, right, some boundary, healthy one. Now we're not talking about like when your parents is old and stuff like that. No, that's not it. Cause they took care of your ass when you couldn't poop on your own. And so you got to take care of them. That's just how it goes. We're not talking about that, but we're talking about doing things and sharing things with people that you don't need to do it with. And sometimes they can be your family. They can be your Egbe. They can be your group. They can be your friend group. They can be your work group. They can be your social club. If we learn it in one way, then we can apply it to these different groups that we go to. But we must be mindful, right, of all our Egbe. And so it's hard for people to see their family members and see their friends in a different light than who they are. Even if they've been your friend for years, something in them can change, right, based on the type of relationship or the thing that you share with them. This Ifa says that no matter what you do, even if people are doubtful, that you will have success. It's actually supposed to be that way. Right? How are you going to create something new if someone's done it already? It's not possible. Everybody's here to create something new. To take what you've learned, right? Even for me, right? To take what you've learned and build upon it. To take the structure, right? The Odu Ifa, the insights, those things, and you make them your own. So even in the Odu, right, where they shared their thoughts and plans with others, and the others may have been doubtful, there was something that was taken from that exchange or from those interactions that helped them to be successful in the end. Could it be there was more determined, obstinate even? Is it some tangible thing that was taken, right? Some skill, some ideology, right? Some sentiment that was learned through life prior to the casting of this OD file? What things had you learned before December in your life? Even from people who said, oh, don't use this that way. Don't do this. I don't think you should do that. Maybe you should go over here. What have you gained from those experiences? Plenty, I'm sure. Confidence in oneself, direction, right? Destiny, support along the way. So where your Egbe may not have been supporting you initially, right? That particular Egbe that you with Ebo and feeding Egbe, that you're gonna receive the support from those Egbe that's gonna support you on the way. Iyalode said it echoes it, right? The success is echoed. Success upon success, different degrees of success, different instances of success. Ashe. Ifatusin.
Can we use this one for Ibori?
No,
No? Okay.
no, because it's not really Ori focused. I mean, listen, any Odu E5 talks about one's Ori, right? Different aspects, where they going, right? Because they moving somewhere. So that's Ori, right? What they are inclined or what they feel is also Ori, right? But what's in their head and their character is also Ori. This old dude specifically is talking about Egbe support. You know?
Ashe, understood.
Mhm. On one's destiny. Anybody else? I'm trying to find my verse. You know, it rained yesterday. And so I was inclined to kind of like use a different verse. Um, but you know, a Warren Sogbe. Ah, let's see. Oh, I'm trying. Ifatusin. Let me look right here. So
Yes, Baba.
I can't find the verse we was talking about it earlier.
Oh, Warren Sogbe? I'm pulling it
Ben,
up right now anyway, Baba. Give me 2 seconds.
so the Osei Ifan was a woman Sogbe in Iraje. So what's something we know about a woman Sogbe? Anyone? Who remembers the story of the Omar Wo doing something behind Arumila's back? Okay. Who remembers why we tied the animal up during Ebo? Somebody raise your hand. Not you, Ifatusa. I would, if I call it Ojibona. Listen, I say. So we mark Owarren Sogbe on the right side of the Opon because of tying up the animal. Everybody say it, please.
We mark the right side of the opponent because of the tying of the animal. It also deals with issue.
Owarren Sogbe. So there's two principal energies in Owarren Sogbe. Right offhand, right? Ojibona said one. What's the other energy? Agbogbo Maritiwo.
And
That's a gungun. I'm looking for the verse. So right offhand, a woman struck by hour of the earth, a woman struck by hour of heaven, they were the one cast ephod for masquerade inside the grove. When the world wanted to expose the secrets of the masquerade, it was advised to offer above. So it's a gungun as well. So with a gungun, we have a gungun baba and a gungun iya. Right, there's these other things that deal with a gungun, but basically, you know, it's a masculine and feminine energy coming together and however it works. So because is these go between energies. Now look at it in an energetic way, right? Masculine and feminine in varying degrees. This is why SU can receive what? Offerings from any Orisha. How one balances the energy, right? How one makes the decision. An example of this is at least in this verse. Ooh, I think I might have found it. Maybe I didn't.
But is this Odu the to the original Odu by any chance?
No, you talking about the Omo Iya?
Yeah,
No.
I'm sorry, Omo Iya. It's not okay.
To no. So you talking about Egbefunmi? It's the Omo Iya, I guess. So there's several Odu Ifa, but one I wanted to use more than more than any. But again, because it rains, if I need, well, now I'm gonna have y'all do this. A woman so big, the rain flood is it that drags debris and blocks the main road. This was Ifa's message to Ore Segi the porcupine, who opened a calabash of wealth suddenly. He was advised to offer, but he complied. Now Ori Segi is the great owl. Ori Segi is the competent owl. Ori Segi is the prominent owl. Ori Segi is the one who suddenly opened the calabash of wealth, spouse, children, property, the calabash of all Irian life. All Irian life abounds in our lineage. Ori Segi is a great owl. This is a woman, Sogbe. So, again, this Odu Ifa speaks about a particular profession, right? So it requires us to kind of like look at the things that the owl must say, owl or Ianifa. Right? How do they move? What things do they do? What's their kind of like mode in life, right? To apply wisdom, to be dedicated, to do things completely. All these things is what make one a great, competent, and prominent owl or Ianifa. The understanding of Ifa, right, and those decisions that we make right? Even with this Odu Ifa, right, we can see that it's in triplicate. The things, the statements, the assertions that's made about Orishegi, the great owl, the competent owl, the prominent owl, it's 3, right? This is different areas of one's life that one's life has been, in a sense, vetted, challenged. What does it do? What's the good of it, of being competent, of being prominent, right? Of being great? The blessings. It's the blessings that once you learn how to open them up, right? Right? If you can open them up for yourself, you can open them up for others. If you can open them up for others, you can open up for yourself. It's the blessing. These things are plentiful and they block the main road. Suddenly, where does the flood come from? How things move. We're asked to perpetuate Eshu, right? A woman Sogbe Iraje. It was salt that was given to Eshu under this Odu. So it was so much salt in my yard because Eshu requested more salt. Odd, right? So I was like, well, what's the relevance of salt, right? What's the relevance of salt, especially on the ground, on the earth? Salt of the earth, right? Those blessings that taste sweet. That's plentiful, right? It's an additive that makes the thing that you already have sweeter, right? Ojibona said earlier, he said, canned milk, powder milk, right? Table salt. I don't know if that'll work. Sea salt, no salt, as you wasn't trying to see it. It was more salt. So this is the advice, right? Obi, Epo, Oti, Iyo. For issue support for things to come suddenly. Ogbe, where? Must be divine alignment. So how does this happen? Is it by speaking the truth, giving good advice, wisdom, using one's mouth to bring blessings, right? This is the flood. It could be a flood of words, a flood of incantations, a flood of gin mixed with Atari. It could be anything, right, that is supporting blessing. Even when we don't see the blessing, right, we're still supposed to call it in. Even if we don't feel it, we're supposed to know with a certainty that it's going to be there. Even if we don't have it and it seems unimaginable, if I guarantees. How can we live our life like that, right? This is one of the things that make us or move us to perpetuate issue. We want to be in our right energy, right? We want to add the right masculine energy, the right projection with the right receiving. We want to offer the offerings in a particular way, right? We want to be barefooted. We want to be standing up. We want to be, doing all those things that we need to do to meet issue, to greet issue. But it all rests on decision making. Are we praying earnestly? Are we in the right energy? Are we chanting the right verses? Are our intentions in the right place? All these things make up the alchemy, right, for us to make the offering, to bring about a certain result. What if something's off? What if you're not too confident? What if you're not aspiring to do things in the best way, greatness? What if one is not assured, self-assured? This Ifa and Eshu and abundance, our spouses, our children, our blessings that await us are asking us to kind of like learn and do things in the right way. It is this way how we open up the calabash of wealth suddenly. The calabash of spouse and children and these other things, right? We might have had the calabash before, but we're gonna get it again, you know. We might have had a big bag before, we'll have a bigger bag later. Perpetuating issue, making sure that we doing things correctly, doing things in the right way to bring about the right result. Like that's the thing too, and if people don't understand, is that it's alchemy. You can do the right thing at the wrong time. You can give the right thing to the wrong Orisha, or the wrong thing to the right one. How will that help us bring about the right result? The blessings will be plentiful, but we have to aspire, right? Our energy have to be in a certain place. That we're being great at whatever it is we're doing, that we're confident in whatever it is that we're doing. This is going to help us to receive or gain prominence. Ashe, questions, concerns, comments on a woman so big, J. Somebody doing something. It's about money. So whether it's good or it's bad, right? We know that it will be exposed. It's gonna come out. We just don't know. Not saying that people doing anything negative, but it can be something good about money. Some big blessing that's brewing behind the scenes that we're not aware about. Some opportunity for progress and advancement that's going on that's not necessarily in the negative, but we can't see it yet. Some of the takeaways from this Odu, and this is the verse that I was also looking for. It's about what we say and who we say it to can affect the blessing. If I say that it is light, I say that it is heavy. Let's follow what Ifa said. Let's follow what Ifa said. Like let it be light. You know. Ashe. Questions, concerns, comments. Ashe. Aburo